What if success was no longer measured by noise, but by meaning? What if influence was no longer about who shines the brightest, but who reaches the furthest? Today, one name quietly rose above the crowd, and another unexpected silence sparked a nationwide conversation. Stay with us. When the Top Brand 2025, China's Top 500 Young Brands list was released, it did more than publish numbers. It quietly reframed the way success is discussed in modern Chinese society. Rankings are often dismissed as fleeting, but this one carried a different weight because it asked not who is most visible, but who is most valuable. Wang Yibo placing 16th overall while leading among male entertainers became a moment of reflection rather than celebration. The position itself mattered less than the context surrounding it. This was a list shared by innovators, athletes, cultural practitioners, and young professionals shaping real change beyond entertainment. To stand among them suggested something quietly profound. Influence is no longer confined to screens or stages. What truly shifted the conversation was the absence of noise. There was no dramatic announcement, no self-promotion, no overt claim of triumph. Instead, the recognition felt earned through accumulation, years of work, risk-taking, and consistency across different domains. In that silence, audiences sensed a turning point. The ranking was not about being everywhere. It was about being relevant where it matters. And that distinction changed how people listened. This recognition stands apart because it resists simplification. It cannot be reduced to popularity metrics, trending topics, or momentary visibility. Instead, it reflects a broader evaluation of contribution, one that values endurance, credibility, and responsibility. What makes Wang Yibo's placement distinctive is the breadth of his professional footprint. His work has not followed a single trajectory, nor has it been shaped by immediate reward. Acting, motorsport, documentary storytelling, and public engagement are rarely combined seamlessly. Yet here they intersect with purpose rather than novelty. Importantly, none of these pursuits rely on constant validation. Motorsport demands discipline and risk. Documentary work requires patience and humility. Public initiatives require accountability. These are fields where reputation is built slowly and often tested away from applause. The ranking acknowledges this long-term investment. It recognizes a figure who has stepped beyond the comfort of established identity and accepted uncertainty as part of growth. That willingness to move laterally, rather than simply upwards, signals maturity. In a cultural climate saturated with speed and visibility, such recognition feels almost counter-cultural. It affirms that influence can be measured not by how loudly one is heard, but by how consistently one contributes. Every ranking creates discussion, but sometimes it is absence, not presence, that draws the sharpest focus. The non-appearance of Xiao Zhan became a focal point for debate, not because of failure, but because of contrast. This silence did not suggest a lack of success. On the contrary, it highlighted the evolving criteria by which success is now interpreted. Commercial reach and public familiarity remain significant, yet they are no longer sufficient on their own. The list prioritizes cross-field engagement, visible social contribution, and sustained public value. For many viewers, this moment prompted reflection rather than division. It revealed that different artists may represent different forms of excellence. One excels within the system of entertainment, another gradually expands beyond it. Neither path negates the other, but they are no longer measured by the same ruler. The debate itself signaled a maturing audience, one increasingly interested in how influence is exercised, not simply how much exists. In this sense, the silence was not a criticism. It was a mirror reflecting a changing cultural expectation. What resonates most strongly with younger audiences is not achievement, but intention. In recent years, many have grown wary of constant productivity, relentless visibility, and the pressure to perform without pause. Against this backdrop, a quieter philosophy has begun to emerge. Wang Yibo's expressed desire to slow down, to step away from excess and reconnect with authenticity, aligns closely with this shift. It suggests an understanding that influence carries responsibility, not only to society but to oneself. Choosing restraint over saturation becomes in itself a statement. This model of influence is less about domination and more about alignment. It values balance over burnout, depth over display, and sincerity over spectacle. For a generation navigating uncertainty, such an approach feels both realistic and reassuring. Rather than positioning success as a race, it reframes it as a journey shaped by choices. Influence in this context becomes something lived rather than performed. And that may be why this story resonates beyond fandoms, because it speaks to a shared longing for meaning in an overstimulated world. Ultimately, rankings fade. What remains is trajectory. The significance of this moment lies not in a number, but in what it suggests about the future of public figures in China and beyond. We may be entering an era where artists are expected to engage more thoughtfully with the world around them, through education, sustainability, cultural preservation, or international dialogue. Visibility will still matter, but purpose may matter more. This shift does not demand perfection. It asks for awareness. It invites public figures to consider how their influence intersects with society and how their choices echo beyond their immediate profession. Seen through this lens, the ranking becomes less of a destination and more of a signpost. It points towards a future where influence is measured by impact and recognition is earned through contribution rather than momentum. If that future takes shape, then this moment will be remembered not as a victory, but as an early indication of how success itself is being redefined. This story is not about winning or losing. It is about how success itself is being redefined. When influence is measured by contribution rather than attention, those who move quietly, but purposefully, may ultimately go the furthest. If you enjoyed this deeper look into Chinese entertainment and culture, don't forget to subscribe to StarWatch now for thoughtful stories, fresh perspectives, and calm analysis beyond the headlines. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again very soon on StarWatch Now.